most people. And it goes back to some of the stuff we were talking about in the conference. So I let my hair grow out, and then my wife said, you got to shave it. She said, you look like an old man. I said, oh, she want to be next to a young man.
Oh, okay. So you better do what
You better do what she says.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, so here's what I saw in the industry when it comes to real estate investments. Okay, so I come from a corporate world. Now, I ran my last company, Computer World Services. I took that company to $32 million. Okay, so we were one of the fastest growing companies in DC, Maryland, and Virginia for 12 years. We made an Inc. magazine and everything like that. Okay. So, but what I learned through here is I learned about systems. I learned about processes, and learned about how to make everything work in the most effective way. So I used to have employees all over the United States. We used to work in Texas, California, all over the place. We had government contracts like with Northrop Grumman, with CACI, with Cisco, things like that. So we used to fly our engineers everywhere. Okay. So then when I came into the real estate world, it was just a chaos. And people weren't talking, there was no system, there was no standards. It's like one agent would do what they wanted to do, the other one would do whatever, and then the contractors did whatever. Right? So my first job was down in DC. I was still at the computer company, bought a house. So the contractor said, oh yeah, I can get this house done, man, $50,000, no problem. Right? So I got 1 foot in the investment side, 1 foot in the computer company side. So I hired these contractors. It was supposed to take 6-7 weeks to get the house done. It ended up taking almost a year. My budget went from here to here to here to here to here, right? Then there was smoking and drinking outside, having the music on the summertime, and the neighbors would call the inspector. The inspector come out to the property, they see trash everywhere. There was a people trying to get violations and tickets. So the only thing they did is they passed it on to me when I got to the job site. Oh, we got these 2 tickets today. What the fuck? How did you get tickets? Well, we had trash everywhere. You know, it was just like you can't be here and you can't do both things. And so eventually I left the computer company, just went into real estate full time. And then when I went to real estate, I came in with the corporate background, like, okay, I need to create systems. I need to create processes. I need to get my own contractors. I need to get my own plumbers, my own electricians, my own agents. I need to get where it's my own team, where I have more control over it from A to Z, right? So that's where I said, okay, I'm going to create Brickfront Properties, because most investors out here, the biggest thing is the NOI. How can I get the fastest amount of money, right? Time value of money, right? How can I get the fastest amount of money without headaches and dealing with bad contractors and dealing with bad properties, right? So that's where I went into, okay, well, let me set up Brickfront Property as a model. This is the way it needs to be done the right way. Like we do our own custom kitchens, right? We go in there, we do our own home inspection, look at our own electric panels. We determine if it's got 100 amp or 200 amp. We update a lot of stuff. So now we have more control over the entire process. So then I was like, okay, well, this process needs to be multiplied, 100 times, right? Well, how do you do that? You do that through the network of humans. You bring on other people to share in your vision, to share in what it is that you want to achieve. Everybody wants to achieve money and freedom, and they want to be able to do what they want to do with their time, but then know they got residual income coming in. Even if it's $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000, but we all know we got to build towards it. It just doesn't happen, right? So then, of course, the market went up, then the market tanked, then the market came back down, right? So here we are, and here's when I really got into the game. So it totally went from where we were to pretty much about the same place, if not less. So then I look at, well, if a house was worth $150,000 10, 11 years ago, you get the same house for the same price now. And you had a 3.5% to a 4% mortgage. Whereas here, people was at 8, 9, 12% interest rates. So then I said, this is the best time to really get in the game. So even though people think the economy is bad, but for us entrepreneurs, we have to think, well, how can we grab a bigger part of this market? So that's why I said, well, let me buy Next Age in 2011. Because what that does is that takes my construction side, then it takes my investor side, right? And it brings everything under one roof. So now I have the agents that can go out there, they can sell our product. Once we get done with the house, they can promote it, they can sell it, then we have more control over the buyer. We know that this buyer is going to get qualified through a lender. And we know that this guy's got a 680, 700. As long as we get through the home inspection, we get through the appraisal, that's the settlement's going to happen. Right? So that's why I said, well, let's buy this Next Stage company. So then now what we're doing is taking the retail world and the investor world, bringing it together. Because most agents, in order to survive today, you got to work with investors. Right? So if you look at the National Association of Realtors report, 36, 37% of the transactions were done through investors. Right? And then 78% of the buyers that want to buy in today's economy, they're not able to buy because they can't get financing. So as an agent, well, how do you survive? But you want to multiply yourself 10 times, 20 times, right? So through Next Age, you can do that. And that's what made sense to me. It's like, okay, I could go and teach my philosophy and my experiences to 5, 6, 7 other like-minded people. Either they won't get it or they're not. And if they get it, I'm going to help them get there, because the thing about, with Next Stage or any other model, you have the pay structure. So my goal is to help you to be successful. So then you can go and turn help other people and everybody benefits. Right? So what I want to do is I want to take the Next Stage model, the Brickfront model, and create like a boutique investment shop, where our core focus is where we're dealing with short sales, we're dealing with REOs, we're dealing with rehab projects, we're dealing with FHA 203K, right? So a lot of buyers, even though they want to buy nice homes, you got to do something. You got to do a new kitchen, you got to do a bathroom, you got to put a new carpet. But that's where Brickfront comes in, and we can do that for that buyer. And therefore it brings more value to the agent, right? So, and then also if they want to sell the house and take on listings, and let's say the house is in a great neighborhood, but the bushes are tall and they just don't have any money to put towards the house, well, we could come in and give them a budget of $500 to $1,000 and say, let us add value to your house. Let us add mulch and bushes and trim it down a little bit, get that listing and get it sold, and then we'll get the money on the back end. So now we can pick up additional listings that way as well, right? So what we're trying to do is try to create enough leads by adding our value from the construction side into the regular retail world. So our competition that's out there, Keller Williams and Remax, they're not doing any of these things. So that's what makes us unique and special. Right? So this particular environment is not going to be like your Keller Williams or your Remax office. This is going to be an office where it's investor focused, driven. We're going to be talking about short sales. There's a lot of materials that I have through different wholesale courses that I've taken. We're part of the Dan Merrill's Mastery Program. You know Dan Merrill? So we're part of the Mastery Program. We have about $25,000 worth of their CDs, DVDs, and programs. We have programs from Donald Trump. We got programs from like 2 or 3 other investors, John Peterson, other guys. But the bottom line is the same stuff. It's the same. There's only so many ways you can flip a house. There's only so many ways you could rent to own or or buy with a lease option, or do mortgage assignments. There's only so many ways you can do it, right? But the bottom line is you got to do it. You got to execute.
Yeah, going from, I went to the seminar, I get it, now, price of deals, make it happen.
Right. And so that's here, you're actually going to go through the motions. You're going to actually go through these things. Like her and I are working on a couple of short deals now. So we were just having a conversation this morning. How much she's been able to gain more knowledge just by doing it. Rather than taking seminars, webinars, and paying thousands of dollars, just being another student, and then never stepping out into the world and say, look, I'm going to do this. And the thing is here, you're coming into a place where this is what we do. So any agent that comes here, we want to teach them, show them, educate them how to work with investors, how to find investors, how to look for investors. What are investors looking for? Some investors, they want to buy and hold and get and create wealth, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. Well, we could work with them. We could help them do that. We could find them a property. We could get a tenant. We could put in new carpet. We could put in $5,000, $10,000 in paint. And then we could do the property management part of it. We'll maintain the property. And then what we'll do is we'll even do the tax form, the Schedule E tax form. So for that investor, the only thing they get is the cash on cash return. So all of the pain of being a landlord or the headaches of being a property manager, all that stuff's going to go away. Because we're taking all that stuff away from you. Now, instead of you putting your money in the bank account at 2%, you can put your money in the property, get a 7 to 12% return month after month, and get the ride, the appreciation of value, because we know the market's going to go back up. It's just a matter of time. Right? So that's just one way. The second way is if you want to buy something and you want to flip it. So we made the whole buying and flipping model simple. We'll come in as the construction team. We'll do the whole budget. We'll do a draw schedule. We'll bring the guys in. We'll use our systems that we have in place for plumbing, drywall, electrical framing, inspections. We'll get the house done. We'll get it staged. We'll bring in professional photographers, take professional pictures, create professional flyers. We have a database of over 20,000 people. We're going to blast it out to them. We're going to have a buyer before that property even gets done. But the thing is to get the cash back to the investor quickly as possible so they could go around and do it again. Because once you get back 30, 40,000, believe me, you're going to want to be like, hey, let's do it again.
I've been there, I've done that.
Right.
You want to do it again and again and again.
But the bottom line is you want to partner up with somebody that knows what the hell they're doing.
Absolutely.
Somebody that's got systems, processes, measurables, accountability, transparency, and you want to be involved where you could go to the property, look at it, touch at it. You can say, okay, this is what they did week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. You can see the progress coming along. And if you happen to be the investor and the agent in that, well, you can help sell it. So that brings the expenses down, that increases the return, and therefore you get more of a margin. Either way, the bottom line is to make more money, right? But the objective is to have the right team. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what the next stage does, it gives you the right team. So what I'm doing with Brickfront and Next Stage, I'm just combining my own flavor to it to just making it better in my own way. But it's going to cater to some regular investors. It's going to cater to some investor-minded agents and brokers. Right? We live in this area. We see house prices. We know Fort Washington. We know D.C. We know Maryland. You see a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom for $89,000. Come on. That's 2,000 price. That's the prices back here. Once this market takes off, it's never going to come back to this level. So, I mean, this is how people create wealth. This is the new American gold rush. When they had the gold rush, everybody ran down to California and told them they're going to find gold. How many people actually found it? Right? So if you could sit here and read all these magazines, do all this stuff, but if you don't get involved and take no action, you're just going to see it go by. Damn, I remember, but what'd you do about it? So the thing about Next Stage is you can come in, you could teach this same thing to other people and make money on them as well, and they go around and teach other people. So you get paid that way, plus you get involved in the transaction, you get paid that way. So it's a win-win either way. Does any of this interest you?
It all sounds good. You speaking my language.
Okay. But tell me what are your concerns and how can I help you? How can I answer some of the questions?
Well, the concern for me is going back to, I'm independent right now.
Sure.
So then I'm going back to, the whole split situation.
Well, let me ask you just a simple question.
Okay.
So you got, let's just say $10 million.
Okay.
And then you have $1 million. You 100% of this, or you could be 10% owner of this, and you make your money on volume rather than your own independent experience. You get hurt, you go to the hospital, this is going to stop. Because everything is dependent on you. The whole system, the company, everything is dependent on you. With this particular model, it's not dependent upon you. It's dependent on the efforts of people that are on your team. Right? We all going to be 50 years old, 60 years old. The bottom line is, are we going to have enough money to survive? Are we going to have enough money to pay for our funeral? Right? This is a real story. My wife's aunt just died Saturday. Okay, so she's home today cooking, but they're doing the funeral tomorrow. But until after last night, they had no money for the grave, for the burial. And average, it's $8,000 to $10,000 to bury somebody. If you don't have $8,000 to $10,000 and you can't bury your loved one, the government ain't gonna help you. You know what I mean? So you got to create your own wealth. It's all up to you. The biggest thing is how you spend your time. And what do you get back for your time? That's what it comes down to. So you're right, you're independent and you're getting 100% of your stuff. But how long can you work at that speed? Can you do it for another 10, 20, 30 years? And then when you stop, what happens? So this is a lot bigger than worrying about a split. Because I'd rather have 10% of 100 million than 100% of a million. Because it's not on me, it's going to come in regardless. And that's what Next Stage does. It gives you that residual income, and it makes you where you are working on your business rather than working in your business. Right? Most people come in as CEOs thinking, oh, okay, well, I got my own company. All you are is a glorified employee of your business. You still put in 16, 17 hours a day trying to do everything by yourself. At the end of the week, you go home, you're like, damn, I only make $300? You can't do that. If you got the same 24 hours in a day like I got, like Angela's got, we all got to sleep, so you take 8 hours away. Then how much time do you really spend on you, on your business, on your future, on creating wealth? How much time do you really spend?
Not a lot if you run around putting out fires for your $1 million you're trying to make.
Exactly. But if you had the right people with the right systems and the right processes, then you don't have to worry about establishing, creating all those things. And Next Stage, through the FMS system, they give you all that. On the back end, everything is done. The marketing is done, the campaigns are done, the flyers are done, the website is there, the social media is there, the internet marketing is there. You're plugging into a system. It's no longer about you. You could be sick and not work, the system is still going to be there. Right? Mm-hmm. The system is still going to be there.
So the key is attracting team members that are actually participating in the process, not just have a license and have a license.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The model is 80% personal production and 20% recruiting on that. But what you were saying, remember we talked about maybe taking one step back, get 2 steps forward. She's a broker. So it may be a position in here where you can still practice, being a broker, but it's also the ability where you can buy a next day franchise. That's a goal of mine, say a couple, 2-3 years, then you have branches, this area will see them popping up.
Yeah. And you got to think, every business started from an idea. Then it went to a concept. And then they went and implemented it. That's how the first McDonald's started, from an idea. Then it turned into a franchise. Then it turned into a system. Now you got McDonald's in the whole world. You get the same cheeseburger from here to down the road. It's the systems and processes that they've created. And most small businesses, the reason they fail is because of cash flow. They run out of cash flow because they're trying to do everything themselves. And they ain't got systems, and they don't have processes, and they're spending hours and hours, and they're unorganized, and they're just stuff everywhere. That's 99% of people's office. So yeah, you're right. There's a split difference, and you're a broker. You're gonna get 100% of your money, but you walk into a system that's already established and created, and there's a whole team of people back there. The headquarters in Georgia. They got a whole team of people working on technology, working on the latest software, working on the latest applications, the laws, the books, the manuals. All that stuff is being done and handed to you. All you got to do is work the system. And the thing with me as the owner, my goal is to help you succeed. I want you to open up an office. Because regardless of what you do, I'm going to get paid. Regardless of what she does, I'm going to get paid. And if she brings in 30 other people, I'm going to get paid. You bring it, this doesn't matter. You're going to get paid. Either way, you're going to get paid. So I want to help you open up an office. I want to set you up in your own franchise. So it's a win-win for me either way. But the fact that we're an investment company and we're a retail company, now it gives us more opportunity to make more money. Because we can get involved in transactions where there's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to play with. So now here you can actually take some of that money and invest it into a deal and get a return. And the fact it's all here, you can touch it, you can feel it. You create a promissory note, you use the property as a collateral, use the title company, they do everything. We know the game. It's just a matter of bringing the right players to making it happen. I can do what I can do, you guys do what you do. It's a win-win for everybody. What do you think?
It sounds really good.
Well, what's holding you back? Like, what's your questions or concerns? What are you thinking?
I mean, you kind of put it in perspective when you do the 10 million versus the 1 million in terms of the split piece. I do have one thing that I'm working on with the Malaysian embassy that may come through. I think it's in May. It should be ready to make the news. But that involves my other agent.
Okay.
So, and I doubt that she'll be willing to switch and do all of that. And then all of the proposals and everything is done, my current company's name and all that. So, I'm trying to figure out how that would.
Well, that's fine. The thing is, we all got stuff in the pipeline.
Right.
I mean, she's got short sales in the pipeline. Mm-hmm. I've spoken to other brokers and owners. They got 20, 30 listings in the pipeline. It's never a right time to move.
Right.
It's never a right time. But this is what you do. Okay, you keep working on what you're working on. Let that keep developing into what it's going to develop into.
Right.
You get signed up today with Next Stage. Pay you $125. You get a code. You get your website. And you start recruiting. And keep doing what you're doing. Let your transaction come to an end or whatever the case is. But at least you can get in the system and start working the system today and start recruiting and telling other people about it. By the time that thing gets done, you may already have 3 or 4 people under your pipeline that are already producing and establishing, and therefore you come into already a pipeline of income. So don't let that hold you back. I mean, don't you just go, it's $125 to get in and get it going. That's the bottom line. It's all that, I got this, I got that, we all got stuff.
Right.
But the bottom line is this right here is going. And you know what happened this week? There were some changes that were made in the corporate office. Okay? So they did the State of Union report last week. In 2011, they went up to 87 franchises. And they passed out $1 million in bonuses in 2011. And now they're bringing on more people. So therefore the structure of the business is getting stronger. And the reason they're bringing on more people is because they're about to even go further and go wider. So once they start developing systems even like that, it's going to get harder and harder for people to get in. So you always want to get in at the beginning. If you knew Apple was going to go public and you could get into Apple at $2 a stock, you would have bought some. If you knew IBM was going to go public, you would have gotten. So there's many stories you could say, I should have, could have, would have, but I didn't. And this is the time right now. We're in the beginning of the year. We got 11 months in front of us. And people right now are looking to say, okay, what am I doing with my license? You know, I got E&Os coming up. I got to renew. I got dues coming up. You know, where do I want to hang my license? What kind of economy is out there? Well, the economy out there, in the world out there is about investors. They're the ones that are buying. Okay, well, how do I get into a company that focuses on investors and that I can learn and grow and get a piece of that $415 million worth of transactions that took place in 2011? How much of that did you actually get? Did you get any of that $415 million?
Not a dime.
Not a dime. You sitting on the sideline watching people playing the game. You got to get in the game. And that's how you learn. And there's no right way or right place, but you just got to get in. And so what I'm going to do is, whatever I got in here, I'm going to share that with you. Because I want you to grow and get better. And I want you to be able to talk to the investors, talk to brokers, talk to agents. Say, here's why we're different. Here's why we're unique. Here's why you should consider coming here. That's my goal. Is the more you have success, the more I have success. So that's my bottom line. Is how I can help you to get to your goal. Get your checkbook. We take credit cards, we take food stamps, we take money orders. Get your checkbook. No, but all jokes aside, here's the thing. Here's the thing, we're all getting older. All of us are getting older. Okay, we're going to be 50, 60, 70 years old. We got to have money coming in on the regular. Our knees are going to hurt, our backs are going to hurt. We're not going to have the same energy. But we have to do things now that's going to give us that money when we get to that age. And this right here is a perfect opportunity. One, the real estate is flat. It's got nowhere to go but up. I mean, look at all these different models, Remax and Coleman. They're going under because they do the brick and mortar thing. That's an old method of doing real estate. Most agents today spend 90% of the time on the internet, Googling stuff, and most buyers are Googling stuff all day long. You want to be part of that world because that's where things are going. And that's what we do here. We're involved in social media, internet, web pages. We use Infusionsoft as our back end. We use technology to make our lives easier. I mean, do you really want to work Saturdays and Sundays?
No, I don't. Football season.
Right.
Nope.
You want your weekends to yourself.
Yeah.
But if you got agents under you, they're working, they're producing, and the money's coming into your account, and you get a check for $500 or $5,000, does it matter? It's free money. You didn't do anything but share the story and share the opportunity with the right-minded people. Some people will get it, some not. That's the bottom line. And you've been in real estate for how many years? 11 years. Have you met your goals?
No. Some years, yes. Some years, no.
But in the last 10 years,
Yeah, I went with the market.
Right.
Up and then down.
so what's your plans now? What is your plan for the next 30 days, 90 days, 24 months? What are your goals?
To make some money. I actually have it written down at home.
Okay.
I do have it written down.
Okay.
So,
Are you going to get there by yourself?
actually, my plan includes 7 other people. Well, 6 other people.
Exactly. Because you're smart enough to know that you're not going to be able to do it by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. But who has to create the systems and the processes and stay on top of everything, make sure this got done, make sure that got done? You got to do that. But why don't you pull yourself away from that and save that time and let the systems, let the company do that for you? That's something you ain't got to do. The biggest thing we have in this world is what? Our time. That's the big, like Aunt Tracy that died this last Saturday. She said, we talked to her on Christmas. She said, I feel good. I want to live. I want to do these things. She's making plans, she's taking a cruise. She died. She ran out of time. I mean, nobody knows when your time is going to end. So, I mean, when people say you want to do something, when do you want to do something? Be specific. Set goals that are measurable, that you can see and touch and reach. And my goal and objective is to help you get there. Help everybody in the office to get there. Help myself get there. I want to have 5,000, 10,000 coming in too. You know?
Mm-hmm. And it's going to happen. I mean, it's definitely happening for me. I mean, for me, being with Long & Foster for like 8-10 years, just doing transaction. And then coming over here and just, where I was given 2 listings to get started, and just, it's just out of control. I got 10. I'm like, I need other people. The systems are working now.
Right.
It's just all the possibilities are there that I didn't see over here. It's definitely teamwork.
And real estate is all about marketing. It's all about 99% marketing. I mean, there's many agents out there. It comes down to marketing. Now, what Clint and myself, we have a lady named Karen Smith. We got a program in India. We got 5 people in the Philippines. We have created a social media system where when you come in as a broker or an agent, we'll do your Facebook, we'll do your Twitter, we'll do your LinkedIn, we'll do a YouTube video, we'll do a bio, we'll create a website for you and get it all linked in. So therefore, you don't have to do that.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Most people do not know about technology, and they don't even know how to get started. This is what we do. We basically are an internet marketing company. That's what we're going to do, all that stuff for you. So therefore, when you come in, you have that done. It's established. That's one thing you ain't got to worry about. That's something you don't have to put your money towards. But you can put that money towards your $125 to get involved today. You can make the checkout.
That's all it is to get coded.
Once you get coded, then you're in. And once you're in, you get access to the back end. You can start playing with it. You can start reading. There's plenty of videos, information, there's testimonials. Everything's done. And then you can start using that stuff. And you'll see, and then we're here. Everybody's here. We just call us, talk to us, email us. I got a question, I got a concern. But the good thing about this, I ain't even talked about, this is all over the United States. That's the good thing about it. You can send somebody to California, you can send somebody to Texas, you can send somebody to North Carolina and get paid. And you can build a team on all these different places and get paid. That's the good thing about this. Is your independent agency, you're not going to North Carolina to open up an office.
No, I'm not.
This, you already have an office there. You just got to pick up the phone, say, hi, I'm from the Largo, Maryland office. I'd like to send somebody down to your office. His name is Steve Jones. He's coming down at 5 o'clock. Who does he talk to? He talks to the broker. Boom. Send that guy down. They'll show them the system. They can hang their license there You get paid for everything they do and everybody they bring in. How powerful is that? I mean, the little split that you worry about, you can't worry about the little split. You got to think about the bigger picture. And that's what it's about, the bigger picture. Time value of money. How can I make the most amount of money in the least amount of time and have enough time for me to do whatever I want to do? It's the effort of other people. You can multiply yourself 1,000 times. That'd be huge, wouldn't it? Yeah. And that's what the system allows you to do. What do you think?
Sounds, like I said, it sounds good.
Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get an amen? Can I get something? Can I get a testimonial? Can I get something? Can I get your check?
I don't have a checkbook. I don't
We take credit cards. But seriously, all jokes aside, here it is.
I'll give you my website.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely interesting, and coming from you who's actually entrenched in the investment side is, you know, that's a big plus for me. Because, like, you know, just doing regular real estate is okay, but the ultimate goal is to invest.
Exactly. But the ultimate goal is for you to have your freedom from finances.
Right.
That's the ultimate goal. Is where you have regular money coming in that you don't have to think about it. You can go spend your time doing other things. That's her goal, that's my goal, that's everybody's goal. Is to open up that mailbox and there's a check in there. That's what we're trying to build. Is where you got residual money coming in all over the United States. You got teams of people everywhere. And all you're doing is following the system. You're not creating anything, you're not spending time reinventing everything. You're just taking it and playing with it. Taking it and playing with it. Taking it and playing with it. And adding new information on it. That's it. You already know the game. You've been around for 11 years. You said you don't want to get involved in the regular, vanilla, boring real estate world.
Driving buyers around, they can't figure out what they want.
That's why next age and brick firm properties, that's what makes it so unique. Is when we're going to make you into an agent that's investor minded. So you're able to go out there and talk to people properly, give them the right due diligence and the right information, so the investor says, okay, I want to buy this. But then you take that same transaction, you sell it for him. So you get it on the front end and you get it on the back end, and you give him other transactions, and you get the same guy to buy 5 or 6, 7 homes from you. So imagine having 5 investors like that. That's 35, 40 transactions a year. And you're working with several people. And you spend your time on growing your team. You got money coming in from there. And you got weekends off to do what you want to do. That's what it's about. Oh, yeah, you can turn it off, Clint. Thank you very much. Brickford Properties, Sid Hamid, and Next Age First Realty in Largo, Maryland. Please come and join us and look at us on the website and our YouTube videos and schedule an appointment for a free hour session with me.